Welcome back. If you're just joining us, our top story this morning. After days of uncertainty, the United States has completed 3 strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. In an address to the nation, President Trump said the bunker buster bombs completely obliterated Iran's nuclear sites. But what does this action likely mean for Iran's nuclear program? Well, joining me now is Shawn Rostker, a research analyst at the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation. He joins me now live. Hello to you, Shawn. Thank you for joining us here on Sky News. First of all, your reaction to the targets in particular, those 3 nuclear sites that the US targeted.
Well, thank you for having me. I'd say the choice of targets, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, it sends a clear message, but it doesn't fundamentally change the nuclear risk involved here. These sites are significant, yes, but Iran's program is designed to be resilient. The strikes may have very well set things back temporarily, but they don't eliminate Iran's capacity to rebuild. And in fact, they may only serve to harden Iran's resolve to, in fact, accelerate its program in the wake of this attack. So while the targets are certainly technically important, the strategic effect is much more uncertain at this time.
Yeah, there's been some, obviously the United States are saying this is a massive success. Donald Trump really hailing the spectacular military success, as he called it in his address, but Iranian state TV really downplaying the impact of this American action there in their country. Do you think they had the time to remove the materials, get the people out so that actually, even though the bunkers themselves may be hit, the resources are not?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. It's entirely plausible that Iran, had some advance warning or some contingency planning in place. These are hardened sites, after all, and Iran has long anticipated the possibility of such military action. So it's possible that they relocated some nuclear material or personnel beforehand. But again, if they didn't, I think the bigger point here is that enrichment capability isn't solely about hardware. It's about knowledge, it's about infrastructure and intent. And those aren't things you can destroy with a missile strike. So Iran downplaying the damage may be partly strategic, but either way, their ability to recover is very real.
And Shawn, in the run-up to this conflict and indeed to America's action now, there were some conflicting reports on how close Iran actually is to acquiring a nuclear weapon. What's your understanding and your assessment of that? How dangerous was that moment and how close were Iran to actually having the capability to launch a nuclear missile?
I mean, it's an extremely dangerous moment indeed, but not because Iran was necessarily on the brink of a bomb, but because perception right now is driving action. And yes, there were conflicting assessments in the lead up, but no clear evidence that Iran was imminently weaponizing. And I think that's an important point to make. The IAEA hasn't verified, key parts of the program for some years now, but that's not the same as saying a weapon was days away. Acting on worst case assumptions without full clarity, this risks locking us into an escalatory spiral. And now that diplomacy has been supplanted by military strikes, the danger, is really that Iran might race for the bomb. And it's that we've lost the tools at this point to know for sure.
Do you think there's a way back from this then? You say that it definitely feels to you that diplomacy is not on the cards at the moment. Do you think there is a way back from that, from this moment now?
Well, it's going to be very difficult, but certainly not impossible. The trust that underpins diplomacy has certainly been badly damaged by these strikes. But I will say, if both sides recognize that the alternative is a wider conflict and unchecked nuclear risk, there may still be a path back. And that wouldn't necessarily require a serious recommitment to negotiations. You could possibly see through third-party mediation, some sort of standing commitment to get back to the negotiating table. but there will have to be clear political will to rebuild what's been lost here at the diplomacy table.
Shawn Rostker, I'm afraid we are out of time, but thank you for joining us here on Sky News for your assessment on our developing story this morning. Thank you.